this is Alessandrina with Dexter and Alessandrina. And today I'm going to talk about the zero state, what I call the zero state. And that state that I call the zero state is essentially a state where you carry nothing. So, most days, sometimes every day, we tend to record and essentially carry things with us, the things of the day, the things of the day before that day, the things of the week before the week that we're in, and the month and the years. And we don't know how much we carry. And we don't know how much that essentially affects the way we experience reality. So when we really allow ourselves to connect to this zero state where we carry nothing, we can feel a sense of freedom, a sense of openness, a sense of lightness, really, like maybe even if you connect to the level of your pelvic floor, the space feels open. If you connect to the level of your abdomen, you feel space there, you feel an openness, a state of relaxation there that you wouldn't feel if you were carrying something. And we can go more and more subtle. I mean, those energies, of course, they also, whatever we carry, can be in our hearts, it can be in our chest, it can be in our throats, in our heads. So the more subtle you go, the more you notice ways in which your body feels throughout the day. And whether you are in that zero state where you're carrying nothing, where you're completely present to yourself, to others, to life, to any place that you go to. And when we do that, when we explore that zero state, and we learn what it feels like not to carry anything, to be free, to be light, to be open, to feel joy, to feel connected, to feel that we're constantly interacting with the world, one with the world, in oneness and wholeness. When we explore this, then we tend to become aware of the things that we do carry. So as we're exploring it, as we're inviting this lightness, this openness in our being, of course, the things that are on our minds, the things that emotionally we're still holding on to, they're going to come up. And they're going to take us out of the state, the zero state, right? Because everything is on a spectrum. Oftentimes when we speak in terms of absolute. So even the zero state doesn't exist. The absolute of a zero state doesn't exist. What exists is a spectrum where you're either closer to the zero state or you're further away from the zero state when you're carrying more things. So if you observe where you are from moment to moment and how much you're carrying, and when you are carrying things and you become aware of them, if you'll simply allow yourself to feel what you feel, to accept what you're feeling, to accept the fact that you're carrying something, and just to simply letting go. And it's interesting because we're in Sedona right now, and I often recommend to people to use the Sedona method, which is a very, very simple method, and yet one of the most profound methods actually that we can learn. Because learning to let go and training ourselves, teaching ourselves to let go and what it feels like is really genius. So when you ask yourself, if you're not familiar with the method, could I let this go? Then you ask yourself, would I let this go? And then you ask, when? So it's a three-part question where you're assessing every time you're exploring where you are with that question, whether you are maybe ready to let go or not. And then, in your mind first, you can entertain it. And then can you really, would you really do it right now? And then finally, when? Meaning essentially helping you to take action in that moment and to liberate yourself, to free yourself. And it's that easy. Sometimes people think that this technique is actually not profound. They miss it, because learning to let go is really, and to surrender completely, is really such a fundamental part of the process of deconstructing our egos and finding more joy, more happiness, more freedom, and more creative energy in our lives. So it's very profound. So, you know, when those things come up, you can use the Sedona method, and you can say, could I let this go? Would I let this go? And when? And then you can once again get closer on the spectrum to the zero state, right? This state of freedom, this state of weightlessness, as if you were floating, zero gravity, as if you were floating in space, as if you were not carrying anything. You were simply, from moment to moment, exploring and experiencing without carrying anything, without holding on to anything. And when you do that, when you really explore that state and you continue to let go, you get closer and closer to it, you get more and more familiar with it. And it's a wonderful state to be in, the zero state. So I invite you to explore that, to see for yourself, what is the zero state? How can you get there? Why is it useful to be in a zero state of being? For instance, in relationship, if you don't carry anything, if you don't carry any of the pain that you usually carry with you, you can meet everyone that you're in relationship with brand new, as if nothing had ever, there's no filter, there's no veil, there's no lens through which you're looking at the relationship or the person. You're experiencing them for the very first time. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to have learned everything that there was to learn from the past. It simply means that you're not carrying the past with you. It means that you've integrated and understood everything that there was to understand from the past, and now in the present moment you're allowing yourself to be brand new and allowing other people that you're in relationship with to be brand new too. And that's how we accelerate towards the things that we actually want, because as you know, or maybe you don't know, when we're no one, so nobody, nothing, no space, no time, what happens is that when we become this nobody, this no one, we really are able to transcend time and space reality. So we don't have to wait for something new to happen. We can recreate ourselves completely new. And that's the zero state. The zero state is that. It's recreating in the present moment, you know, from this infinite potential that exists in the universe. And when we're in this zero state, we have the potential to do that. We have the capacity to do that and to enjoy this state of deep presence and creativity. So I'd love to hear your comments about the zero state, and as you explore it, what comes up for you, how that changes the way that you feel, how that changes the way that your body feels, your thoughts, your emotions, your energy, your relationships, your life situations, like circumstances, the things that happen in your life as a result of you being in this state of openness to receiving in the zero state, something completely new every day. Wishing you lots of love and looking forward to hearing from you.